Right, welcome back. Multi-Man Publishing Standard Combat Series, North Africa. Um, and we are well into Operation Crusader here. Um, and we are now coming to the first time that the Germans Axis can actually do any kind of activation. The scenario-specific rules say that Rommel was surprised, so he can only do a reaction to the first British full activation, which is what they did, which means they can't attack. But now Rommel can do a limited, a full, or he can react again. Problem is, a good chunk of his striking power is disorganized. So at first I was thinking, well, we got to get rid of the disorganized markers. The only way you can do that is with a limited or a full activation. So initially thinking maybe a limited activation and do some attacks, but that means that Germans have some airstrikes and they can't use them along with artillery. So maybe a more kind of defensive posture. I was thinking maybe clean up this area here behind the escarpment, block the passes here. And then these guys are just going to go. And these high movement factors pretty much make it almost impossible unless you're using physical units to block. These ones with big movement factors can just wander around. So that was my initial plan, but and the Germans did lose a supply unit here in Bardia when it fell. I did check the scenario special rules. There is no capture reward in this scenario for Bardia, just for Tobruk. So they didn't get that. But if we come over here, but the Germans actually do have more supply. One that was put here, I guess, to grab Trieste, and another one up here to grab these guys here. So, looking at this, how many do they have here? The rest of the German supplies are here too, so they do have a total of 4. They can mix and match as they want. So as I was looking at this more, I don't know if Rommel would go for that defensive kind of hide behind the escarpment, and I did see some opportunities here for counterattacks, which is more up Rommel's alley. Unfortunately, he can't use these guys. They're half attack. Well, he could. Actually, he could. So that's a consideration too. But as the turn starts, the first thing to figure out is where to put Rommel. At the beginning of every turn, placed on any stack, at the very beginning, any full or limited. So in this case, I'm tempted to put him here. That's 7-9. That actually potentially becomes an overrun stack if needed. So Rommel gets moved to there. Don't know if that's a great idea. And now the decision point. What are the Germans going to do? And actually, I did change my mind and I figured let's do a full activation. So with that in mind, we're going to flip one of these. And now artillery within 5 hexes of it, and it can move. So 3 artillery, that's pretty powerful. Now I gotta lose another one, and I'm saying let's do this one because then it allows these guys to move. These guys are a problem. So they could either move this way, or they could move this way and deal with him, and then here and deal with him, and then be within 10 in the future. Although they'll probably cause these guys to run. Anyway, so that's that. So the next thing is actual movement. And yeah, there are a few overruns that want to be done here. So I'm looking at this, and I do want to clear this out. At the end of the turn, it'd be nice to have this pass blocked, and here this just builds onto Tobruk defenses. So they are strongly in charge of the primary road and set up for who knows what, maybe some point in the future, a counterattack into Bardia for the win. but supply is going to be a problem here. So, with that said, we'll go ahead and start the movement phase. Alright, we're back again. I have done some initial movement here just to show you. Concentrate in Trieste for a counterattack against the South Africans, assisted by, I believe, the Africa Division. Pull some units that were up here just in range to screen off the armored cars for now. So I'm looking at probably an attack here, and I'm going to have to pull one of these units here to get them surrounded. But then the big event is at least the German units in the Bardia perimeter have, slipped out with their high movement and actually setting up for an attack on these units. They got out, had to bring this guy here just to now make sure there's a ZOC everywhere. So if we get a retreat result, we're going to cause a loss. Hoping probably do an airstrike and or an artillery on that before the attack. These guys are hunkering down. They're in a fort. This guy, he's just going to stay there in his fort also. So 24 defense, kind of tough to get. So those guys, he couldn't get out anyhow, so they're hunkering down. They'd move here and then they'd be chopped up by the 2nd New Zealand, so at least now they're slowing things down. This guy here to slow things down. So what I need to resolve now is, like I said, what are these guys going to do? And then I've got some overruns here and probably some airstrikes too. We're going to look at that. So I'll be right back. Alright, first overrun. This guy's going to go here for 2, 3, 3 and a third, counted as 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, bummer. Hold on. Okay, I calculated that wrong. I was kind of hoping Africa could do the initial overrun here, but that's also a ZOC to ZOC move, so he doesn't have the movement. This guy can't, so the only people who can overrun right now are right here. Which is a problem. So, but that's key. We need to overrun here. So I'm just going to do it this way. This guy's going to move here. And that's going to be, I think he can do that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 for the overrun. And it's going to be 4 to 1. And I've gone back and forth on retreating this guy, but it gets a DR3, which means anybody who does this can advance right up to here, which is not something we want. So he's going to sacrifice himself to stop this guy at least. So let's see what happens. Don't know if that's wise or not, but we'll see. So we got a 4 to 1. I keep rethinking this. It's 8. I think that's a good result for the Germans actually. D1 R2. So he's destroyed, but for whatever it's worth, the R2 result means this guy can only advance 2. And he's done. He didn't make it, but, well, that is a good position because it's pinning that 7th Armored Unit, so I'm not complaining about that. But now that frees up all sorts of partying on to come right. Well, this guy's got ZOC on the road, so we'll see. This guy can go basically 1 to here, but plus 6 for the zones of controls is 7. So he can get there. This is another attack that was kind of key. And this one maybe Rommel will be involved in. We'll see. But I just realized, well, these guys have half movement. So they're not going to go very far, but they may not have to go too far if we succeed in doing something to these guys, disorganizing them. But yeah, this guy's going to move here. And it looks like no more overruns there, at least. So I'm going to keep moving and I'll be right back. Alright, we're done. I think. This is a big attack here. Got this taking a shot at an attack here, and it maybe have an attack here. So I'm going to burn 2 airstrikes. And they got 2 airstrikes and 3 artilleries. So the airstrikes, well, the airstrikes here, and if that fails, we're going to follow it up with an artillery. So let's do that one first. And it's basically a 1 through 4. Let me find those markers. Wait, here's the barrage markers, and here's the oh, wrong side.